Day 217. Let's talk about this topic of maybe I don't know. That's going to be the title of today's message on day 217. So I think sometimes we get caught up thinking that we need to have all of the answers and that we need to be in control. And when we're not, we panic. We think that if we don't know what's coming next, then there's something wrong, or maybe there's something wrong with us. But today I want to remind anyone listening to this that maybe not knowing said thing, maybe that's part of the point. There's a song that I really like from a fella named Jon Bellion. It's been out for quite a long time. The title of the song is simply Maybe I Don't Know. Maybe IDK. Look it up if you haven't heard it before. But in this song, there's a specific set of lyrics that hit real deeply around this topic. And it goes like this. Although, I guess if I knew tomorrow, I guess I wouldn't need faith. I guess if I never fell, I guess I wouldn't need grace. I guess if I knew his plans, I guess he wouldn't be God. So think about that, because there's a lot of truth in those words there from that course. Let's break that down a little bit. So the first line, if I knew tomorrow, I wouldn't need faith. So faith's trusting what we can't see. And again, I think in our life, if everything was clear, like if the whole plan in our lives were laid out from A to Z, and we just automatically knew what was about to happen, that faith wouldn't be necessary. It would just simply be knowledge at that point. And I always was told there's no true love in, like if there's not free will. It takes free will to achieve true love. The opportunity for us to trust God and to lean on Him. And if we knew everything and it was just knowledge, we could rely on ourselves and wouldn't need a higher power. The next line there, if I never fell, I guess I wouldn't need grace. So again, to be honest, it's obvious, like we've all fallen. We have all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And if we've never stumbled in our life, I don't think that's achievable. I think we certainly will stumble because we are human. But I think every stumble and every failure that we've experienced in our lives, there's that specific spot wherever you've stumbled is a place for grace to show up in your life. And grace helps to restore us and to sustain us into the best version of who we are, which is the version that God created us to be. So again, if I never fell, I guess I wouldn't need grace. And then the following line after that is, and I guess if I knew his plans, I guess he wouldn't be God. And I think that part's interesting because I think sometimes we just want a God that we can understand, and we want to try to make sense of what God's doing or how he's feeling. And I think that's limiting God so much. It's like, I always go back to the example, the construction worker that builds the wall. It's like we can't communicate with the wall. The wall's inanimate, if that's the word. And the builder is so much higher than the creation. And sometimes I think if like God's not answering something in our timing, we'll start to limit him or question him or doubt him. But I think that it's very important to note that like a God that we don't fully understand, like that's the God that's worth worshiping. Because if there was just a simple God that we understood everything and we had all knowledge, like that wouldn't be a God that is worth worshiping. God's mystery is part of the majesty. Like God is operating outside of space and time, and he sees this full canvas when we're only seeing a pinhole sized view. So I love those lyrics, and I think there's a lot of depth and a lot of application to those in our lives. And I'm going to tie it to this scripture today, which is Isaiah chapter 55, verses 6 through 11. Reading through the NIV version today. It says, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake their ways and the unrighteous their thoughts. Let them turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on them, and to our God, for he will freely pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. As the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return to it without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields seed for the sower and bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it. So what do these words show us? It's that God's always working. Even when we don't understand or even when we don't see it, God's thoughts are higher, His ways are higher, His plans are greater, and His words, they don't fail us. So in closing, maybe we don't know exactly what's coming next in our life, and maybe we're standing in the middle of some unanswered prayer or some open wound or uncertain season in our life. But just remember, even if you don't know the how, you can still trust the who, which is God. And even if you don't know the map and the way, how things are going to unfold in your life, you can follow the guide, which is God. Faith's not about having all the information. It's not having all your facts straight or your plans perfect. But it's about trusting the one who holds all of that together. So in closing, again, maybe I don't know, and maybe you don't know either, just like the song said. But also, as the song says, maybe that's okay. Because we serve a God who does know and who sees beyond our human view. We serve a God who offers grace in our lowest moments and who invites us to trust Him, to walk and to live in a way that doesn't require certainty, but just obedience to Him. So maybe this is just our reminder to stop trying to figure everything out on our own or take all control on our own, but to just start trusting the Father, because He's the one that never fails. That's day 217.